Reddington is now highlighting the inconsistencies in Patrick's story. I mean, this is huge. Today was a huge turning point in the trial as the focus seemingly started shifting from Lindsay to Patrick. Starting with the 911 call, Reddington mentioned how Patrick said that he talked to Lindsay after she had fallen and asked her, "What did you do?" And she responded that she tried to unalive herself and said that the kids were in the basement. But Reddington said that at this point her throat was severely injured and said if you listen to the 911 call, you can hear that she cannot speak. She can only make grunting noises, so that conversation could not have happened. Reddington later said something very interesting. He said if a person has a memory while in psychosis, it's very possible they could be imagining they did something while the objective facts showed that they didn't, and he agreed. He then brings up an example and says Lindsay told you after she did what she did to her wrists and her neck, she then cut the screen and jumped from the window, but the evidence shows that the screen was never cut. But the doctor said he felt like that part wasn't important. Reddington then said, "Do you remember saying this morning that Lindsay told you she felt like it wasn't her doing this, that she felt like she was watching herself do these things, and that she was only listening to a voice in her head rather than making the conscious decision to do these things?" And he said yes. They then talked about Patrick's anniversary, and Reddington asked him if Patrick and Lindsay went out that night, and he said that Patrick told him they did. But earlier in the trial, Patrick testified that Lindsay wasn't feeling well that night, so him and Lindsay stayed in and ordered takeout. So which one is it? They then talked about the day of the crime, and Lindsay said when Patrick was leaving, she had the baby in her arm, the fridge was open, she was getting dinner ready for the kids, but Patrick said when he was leaving, Dawson was already sitting on the couch eating chicken nuggets. They then talked about the crushed pills and the lemonade, and here's where things get weird. The doctor said that Lindsay admitted that she crushed the pills that day, but when asked where he got that information, he said Patrick. But Patrick was already gone at this point, so how would he know that? Well, he said that he saw them after he returned home, but there's still a big problem with that. Because Patrick said when he came home and opened the door, he only stepped 1 foot into the room, but the pills were in a tumbler on the dresser next to the bed, so how could he have seen them? And even if he did see them and they were already in powder form, why did he not think it was liquid IV or protein powder? Why did he automatically know they were pills? And I have not seen any documentation showing Lindsay admitted to crushing these pills. This is something that takes time and energy, which Lindsay did not have. And Patrick also said that they did not have lemonade in the house, but there was lemonade in the cup, and Lindsay couldn't drive at this time, so how did that lemonade get into the house? It seems that a majority of these experts are basing their claims on the fact that Patrick told them something happened, not on the evidence. And Lindsay also said that she doesn't remember what happened that